Hey there, internet friends. Welcome to another episode of That News You Care About, That Nerdy Site's weekly video game show where I don't really have the intro to this one pulled up because Logan usually does this. Usually Logan and I sit down and talk about something video game related. Logan is out on holiday this week, so instead I have Cameron Abbott joining me. How you doing, Cameron?
Hey, what's going on, Trevor?
What is going on? And for this week's topic, we are going to do a good old-fashioned predictions episode. We have a couple showcases kind of kicking the, not E3 off this week, since E3 has been, went ahead and got canceled. But we've got the Summer Game Fest going off on Thursday, and then the big Xbox Bethesda conference on Sunday. So I figured, not going to have Logan, can bring Cameron on. What a fun time to do a good old-fashioned Portillo's bet. So we've each prepared 3 predictions for each of the 2 big showcases that we're going to be talking about today, Summer Game Fest and Xbox Bethesda, as well as probably some spare predictions in case, we kind of step on each other's toes or something like that. I got some backups ready to go. And so, yeah, the winner, whoever gets the most predictions right, will treat the other one to Portillo's the next time Cam and I go for a Portillo's run, which should be soon. We've not done Portillo's in a little while.
It's true, and with how better things have gotten,
yeah, be a good little time. But anyway, yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other housekeeping stuff outside. Just other housekeeping. If you like the show, hit like, subscribe, share the podcast with your friends, all that fun stuff, all the normal rigmarole we tell you to do for podcasts. But yeah, with that out of the way, Cameron, I will throw it to you for the first prediction. We'll do Summer Game Fest first, and then we will kind of do our 3 back and forth, and then we'll do our 3 predictions each for Xbox Bethesda. So what is your first prediction for Summer Game Fest 2022?
I think it's only apt that the Summer Game Fest was the original debut of it. It was the Game Awards back then. Jeff Keighley has such a unique relationship to the point where we even got Alexander, I think it was Alexander, the Pot Man, from Elden Ring, at the Game Awards this past year.
I didn't know that Pot had a name, but okay.
He's actually really cool, Trevor. He's really cool.
I don't believe it, but okay.
He's so cool.
We don't need to go down that rabbit hole. But
Anyway,
Elden Ring. It's Elden Ring related is your prediction.
Elden Ring. It's going to be, I believe, the first DLC will be announced.
Okay.
We've had enough time. It's been several months.
Yeah.
Having an announcement for the first DLC is not very uncommon at this point with From Software games.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I guess I definitely had the question of I didn't know they necessarily had DLC in the pipeline, but I guess that it makes perfect sense. Because I obviously Bloodborne had the old hunters, and Dark Souls has its various DLC. Did Sekiro have any?
I'm not sure.
Anyway,
I don't recall Sekiro having
Elden Ring DLC sounds good.
Yeah.
Any. And this doesn't have to be part of the prediction.
Oh, I will say it's not going to be coming out for a while.
Yeah,
for sure.
Your prediction is that it will be announced, and we will see presumably a teaser or a trailer for Elden Ring DLC.
That's correct.
So prediction aside, any hopes on what that DLC might look like?
I mean, there's a couple of really good loose threads that didn't really get a lot of coverage in the game itself. I think one of the biggest ones is you're familiar with what's her name? I almost said you're familiar with the Milena memes, the red-haired lady that everybody gets their ass kicked by.
I've probably seen it. I probably couldn't put a name to it.
That's fair.
And also Elden Ring is the one thing I have muted on Twitter, so I actually don't see a lot of Elden Ring stuff because I got so tired of it. So
that's fair.
So I might not know it, but I think I've seen here and there.
But she's if you remember the first trailer, she's the red-haired woman.
Okay.
Many people thought she was going to be our playable character in the initial. Yeah, no, it's a fantastic like I really hope so. I think it's gonna be Millennia's brother. I can't remember his name. It's like Mikhail or something like that. But essentially, her brother is a figure who is in like pretty important to several different main bosses that you fight in the game. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we get pulled into because the two brothers who are like the children of Millennia, who is like the goddess of the world. Um, she's the person who by marrying her you become Elden. There's a lot more that goes into that, but I won't get into spoilers on it. But she is like she has two sons who we don't really get to see too much in game because what happens to them happens before the game starts. But so I could see either of those brothers being used. But like it depends on that. Like it really
Okay,
does depend. So
cool.
because there's other stuff too that like there's crazy amounts of stuff that they could go in for it. And who knows what they're gonna do.
But prediction is we will see an Elden Ring DLC trailer announcement. Cool.
Yep.
So for my first prediction, I will actually I have one that I will potentially use, but I will also firmly accept a ruling given that like there were some potential leaks about this prediction today. But as I wrote my predictions up yesterday, the very first one I wrote was it's Summer Game Fest. Jeff Keighley and Hideo Kojima will probably see Hideo Kojima's next game announced slash revealed. Now, I wrote that last night. This morning, there are stories going around about a leak, so I'm fine squashing this prediction and not
I'll let you have
utilizing
it.
it.
I'll let you have it. I don't think. Here's the thing. It's fine. This is not like a like I do. I am totally fine with that because here's the thing. We've had leaks like this happen before and didn't happen.
Yeah, that's fair.
We are in an era where leaks because like what was it was the state of play the Nvidia leaks
Hmm.
weren't accurate about that one. They're like the very famous Nvidia leaks that have gone like pretty much unchallenged at this point didn't really nail anything for the state of play. So for a lot of people, like the source of the Nvidia leak, it's like yeah. So I like we're in an era where like even trusted leak sources may not be entirely accurate.
Hmm. All right. Well then, yeah.
Yeah.
My first prediction here. It's Summer Game Fest. Of course, Jeff brings in Kojima for these things. Obviously, we had at the very first one, we had the reveal of Jeff Keighley in Death Stranding. And then last year's, I believe, is where we got the announcement of Death Stranding director's cut, or if not,
Mm-hmm.
there we got to see it at Game Fest, and maybe it was shown off in a
Oh
state
no,
of play or something like that. But
no, it debuted at the Summer Game Fest. You're right.
yeah. So it like and I think last week Jeff and Kojima were, coyly tweeting and stuff like that. So especially with Jeff also going out and being like, "Hey, heads up, most of this game is going to be stuff that you already know about, so let's put expectations in check." But he didn't say everything's going to be stuff you already know about. So
Oh, the show, not the game.
yeah,
The
yeah,
show.
yeah. Sorry. Yes,
Yeah. No, you're good.
the Game Awards. Like he was putting expectations of like, hey, don't expect like everything to be a world premiere, game announcement in this one. Not going to be one of those years. But yeah, I can't. It'll be a very weird day when we have a Summer Game Fest that doesn't have some kind of Kojima involvement somehow.
Hmm.
Even when it doesn't make sense, Keeley finds a way to like
Hey,
put it in there. So yeah,
like
that was my
yeah,
first prediction is that we will see the next project announced and revealed from Hideo Kojima. Um, Probably 2023, maybe 2024 even. But
did you see that tweet that made its rounds? Like today of people retweeting a tweet somebody put out years like a while ago where they're like, yeah, I met Hideo Kojima and I was talking to him and I was talking about how much I loved his games and like then like Japanese culture came up and then all of a sudden he just stops our conversation, points at me and calls me otaku, and then laughed.
I don't think I've seen this tweet. No.
It was a good tweet, and I don't know if it's true, but I prefer like it's one of those things. It's like Bill Murray really show up at this house party
Hmm.
and then help them by doing the dishes to clean up afterwards? Maybe, I don't know, but I choose to believe that we exist in a world where that did happen.
Yeah, it's more fun to live in a world where magic like that exists. Very fair.
Hideo Kojima of all people, being a Western weeaboo himself,
Yeah.
like calling somebody an otaku and laughing is just levels of irony for me that I just love.
I did see he was holding up this Lego set that I also bought of
Starry Night?
Yeah. I saw.
Dude,
like,
I swear, Legos are just puzzles now. That's all they are.
pretty much, and this one in particular was like a fan designed it kind of thing, and so it kind of grew out of the Lego ideas thing, and it's like it has some depth to it too. So like the little village and stuff kind of comes out of the frame of the portrait and stuff. But yeah,
That's pretty rad.
I saw Kojima like has that Lego set, and I was like, cool. That's like the one thing I can relate with Kojima on is we both like artistic Lego stuff. So yes, shout out to Kojima.
I think you'd get along with Kojima better than you think, Trevor.
Probably, yeah. He's definitely way more a cinephile than I am, but
I
yeah.
love following him on Twitter because of that. Like him just like tweeting out random things like, "Oh my gosh, I went to see this movie. It was amazing. I had so much fun. Everybody should go see it."
Mhm.
Like such a normal ass tweet from from somebody like Hideo Kojima, and it's like, "Oh, I forgot this dude's just a total normal person."
Yeah.
Like he just happens to have like really crazy cool weird sci-fi like modern like not yeah, modern sci-fi esque ideas.
Yeah.
Like, yep, he's just cool dude. I like him.
He is a super influencer. I'll be if this isn't like complete tangent, but if the PlayStation the new PlayStation Plus that we get in a week or so now, if that includes access to an older catalog of Metal Gear games, maybe I'll finally work on playing through Metal Gear, because I love Metal Gear 5.
Yes.
Despite not really knowing anything about it. Like I love the gameplay.
Metal Gear 5's gameplay is, I think, probably like up there as the best gameplay.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
It'll
It'll definitely be tough to go back and play through some of those older ones, but we'll see.
Well, in my opinion, the definitive version of like Metal Gear Solid 1 is Twin Snakes on the GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just like a vast improvement on just about every level. And then from there, you get the substance and subsistence for 2 and 3. 3 is still like one of my favorite games of all time. Like it's up there for me as like one of like the best games I've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
I beat Snake Eater. I rented it from Blockbuster multiple times, but the first time that I rented it from Blockbuster, I beat that game. I had the game for a week. I beat that game like roughly around 12 times. Just like I will never forget, like by the end of it, I was trying to get through the game with as few kills as like basically I wanted to for lack of a better term,
run as best you could.
Yeah, what I wanted to basically platinum the game. I wanted to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
Metal Gear Solid 3 to me is just like a perfect game story on the level of like, is it Metal Gear levels of cheesy? Yes, but because it's older, it doesn't get as sci-fi crazy about stuff, and it's fun.
Okay. I think I definitely know at one point I had the Twin Snakes GameCube game, despite never having like really been into Metal Gear. I don't know if I still do, or if that was a game that I gave up in a trade-in at some point because I was never going to play it. But who knows?
I want to find out how much money you definitely got cheated out of.
Oh, definitely. While you're looking that up, do you want me to dive into my second prediction, or do you want to do your second prediction?
It is currently $120 to $165.
All right. Well, I'll have to check my shelf. Then I'm not like it's definitely like within arm's reach, but I would have to basically like lean over. It's at the bottom shelf. I'd be showing my ass to the camera and stuff. So I'm just not gonna do that right now.
Nobody was complaining. Nobody was complaining earlier, Trevor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I will. I'll definitely check when we finish recording to see if I still have that one. What is your second prediction for Summer Game Fest, Cameron?
It's funny. So the reason I wanted to definitely let you have that prediction is because that was going to be my next prediction.
Okay.
I think my follow-up prediction on this one is going to be, um, I think we're going to see something from Greedfall 2. Greedfall 2 had its like the trailer dropped a couple days ago. But it doesn't have like a lot going on in there, and I think because Greedfall debuted at the Summer Games Fest, I could definitely see it making its way there to for its sequel.
Okay, I didn't even know this was a thing. Greedfall 2. What's
I literally saw the trailer
uh-huh.
for
Yeah.
the game. Like literally, I saw it at 11:30 at night just on a YouTube page. Like,
Yeah.
was not anywhere.
That's
Nobody's talking about it.
Yeah, I'm
So,
seeing like official reveal trailer 4K 60 FPS from 3 weeks ago.
yep.
Originally posted 3 weeks ago. Okay.
No, I mean, that's kind of a shot in the dark. That's kind of like one of my alternatives, but
Yeah, no. And that's
yeah,
very fair. I joked in oh god, yeah, it's like on IGN, it's releasing in 2024. So if they do show more, they're definitely like getting way out ahead of the game on that one. Um, but
like here's the thing: we might just see the trailer again.
mhm,
But I would hope that we'd see more because the trailer's not very long. It's quite the teaser.
mhm.
Even if it's just like a hey, yeah, Greedfall 2, they're working on this. Here's like some stuff, or here's more information about it. Like I could just see it. Like this is my kind of shot in the dark. Like I said.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. And I know some developers and stuff have been like tweeting out teases of like, hey, like tune in. And I feel like this might be one that I did see recently of like, hey, yeah, keep an eye out for more information at the Game Awards or something like that, but maybe not. Yeah, digging through their tweets right now. I'm not seeing anything. So, um, cool. Yeah, that is a game I know. I don't know anything about the first Greedfall, so I did not know that this was even another one until it exists, or until you've mentioned it here, and that's absolutely fair. I think, as I joked in our Slack yesterday, I was like, as I was trying to come up with predictions, it's really hard to not just come up with like they're gonna give this game a release date, and we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see some kind of update on it, just because that's the kind of year it has been. But Greedfall 2 extended look or or trailer kind of thing.
Yep.
Cool. In a similar vein, I will go my second prediction here. Kind of actually also more I guess in a similar vein to your first one of the Elden Ring DLC. Yeah, Elden Ring came out 3.5 months ago, end of February. So seems like a fitting enough time for DLC. My prediction is, after having 18 months to fix the game, I think CD Projekt Red's finally gonna show some DLC for Cyberpunk 2077.
There you go.
Now that the game is on current gen consoles and seemingly in a stable state, I think the work of adding to that game begins now, or obviously has already begun. But I think we'll get our first look from CD Projekt Red of what DLC for Cyberpunk 2077 looks like, with maybe like a September release date or something like that. Who knows? But yeah, Cyberpunk DLC announcement / trailer is my second prediction.
Nice. Okay. For my third prediction, I think my third prediction I'm gonna go with um Forspoken. We're gonna get a whether I think we'll probably get like a new gameplay trailer or something from Forspoken, something to get people hyped up for it since it's coming out this fall. It got pushed back, but like it is what it is. I'm stoked for it. I think it looks super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Granted, I love urban fantasy, and
Yep.
this looks like right out of that playbook. So yeah, it looks cool. I'm excited for it.
Cool. Forspoken trailer, new look. Yeah, that's definitely one I like. I'm. That's definitely one that's on my list to play when it comes out. assuming I'm not swamped by a whole bunch of other stuff that maybe pulls my attention in other directions. But I like the Gary Whitta, I know, has worked on that one in terms of like the world building and the lore. I also like the urban fantasy style. It seems like it's going to have Final Fantasy 15-esque gameplay kind of mechanics from what we have seen. I know Janina Gavankar is in there as a big bad, so looks like probably some good performances behind it. So cool. Yeah, I can get behind seeing some more Forspoken. I'll be curious if it makes a showing at a Summer Game Fest versus like it seems like something that would be in a future state of play or something from Sony.
I don't know. My thing about it is I don't think there's another state of play before Forspoken comes out.
Oh, I mean, Forspoken I think got pushed to October. Was it?
I thought it was August.
Was it August? I thought it was like originally slated for August and then got pushed.
It might have been. I might be confusing the two.
Yeah. Let's see. Forspoken release date. October 11th. So
okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I was wrong. Okay.
So yeah, I definitely think they will have time for future state of plays, but we could definitely still see something here, depending on how they want to kind of keep the momentum on that game going along. So cool.
Dude, it just looks so cool. The main character looks so badass.
Yeah. My last one is it's another one that I made this prediction. And then, like, in double checking to see that, like, I haven't just missed an announcement on this game, I saw that it's another one that has had maybe some potential leaks here and there. But it is my prediction here is that we will see, a la like last year we had kind of that Tiny Tina Wonderlands, announcement reveal like segment. I think we will get a similar segment in that vein for Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Okay.
The new like XCOM like from Firaxis, with a gameplay, a release date, and possibly like an interview segment with Jeff, a la Ashley Birch coming out last year. Maybe we'll see who's playing Charles Xavier in this, or like we'll see some kind of voice actor get announced and come out and do a little one-on-one with Jeff to talk about the game for a bit.
Let's see, it wouldn't be Ashley Birch this time. I'm guessing probably Laura Bailey.
Possibly.
Name a prolific voice actor who's done stage stuff.
Yeah. Ashley Johnson.
There you go.
Reprising her role as Beth, the waitress from the Avengers movie, as a DLC character. But yeah, Marvel's Midnight Suns. The rumors that I was seeing in the leaks are that like I think it got posted to like a site with a October 6th release date. So we'll see if that ends up coming to pass, or if that leak has no actual reputable wherewithal behind it. I will throw out there kind of my alts that I had, if you want to share yours as well. But mine were effectively a Plague Tale Requiem release date, Hogwarts Legacy release date, and Avatar Frontiers of Pandora release date, specifically in December to coincide with the new Avatar Way of the Water movie or whatever that one is.
My only other alternative that I came up with was a Hogwarts Legacy, like big trailer reveal.
Yeah, that's one. Like I feel like they did they had a whole dedicated state of play a while back, and didn't put a date to it, but still said like still aiming for 2022. So, but yeah, that's
Dude, I still feel weird. I still feel weird about that game.
That's a lot of people do. I know Logan is like super excited for it, and I'm just like, I don't really care. And even Logan isn't super excited for it because like he looks at that game and says something to the effect of like, it's the concept he wants from a Hogwarts game, but he has zero interest in going back to like the 1900s or 1800s rather to be a wizard at Hogwarts, joining in like your 5th year or whatever the premise is. Like, just give us a Hogwarts game a la the Lego Hogwarts or Lego Harry Potter games, where you go through like year by year of your time at
Oh, they do
Hogwarts.
that with. That's what's so strange is that they do that for the Hogwarts
Look at the mobile one.
the mobile one. Yeah, the mobile one you literally go through like an individual year, and you do it where you're like you're in the same kind of age group as Ron Weasley's older brothers, like his oldest brothers that were like long done with Hogwarts by the time he went there his first year.
Yeah, your Bills and your Charlies.
Yeah, Bill is like literally like your prefect, advisor, like mentor. And then Charlie's like a year above you. So it was that game alone is like premise wise, like if that game had like was more fleshed out and was like on an actual console, I think that would have like really stunned a lot of people because the story is super good. And like the characters are like really memorable and really cool. And like, but I stopped playing the game because fucking J.K. Rowling's a turf.
Yep. As we talked about a little bit extensively this week on that Nerdy Site show, because I sat down with Secrets of Dumbledore to finally watch that. And yeah, I'm just like, I like that I enjoyed these things when I was a kid and when I was younger. Not even like when I was a kid, but like I got into them when I was in high school. So I like that I liked them once upon a time, and these days I'm just like, like I don't necessarily care all that much.
Harry Potter like dominated my teen years with like here's the thing, I was not as into Harry Potter. Like I got more into Harry Potter after the series was over, like after all the books were out, than I was before. Before I was like, oh yeah, they're a really cool book series, but the seventh one and kind of like the idea of like this bigger world of magic really captured my fancy, and like I just was like, but I was also like, it's over, there won't be any more books. Oh, cry, tears, like I can't believe like I wasn't more attached to it. And then like Pottermore stuff happened, and it's like, oh yeah, this is my jam. Give me all that extended lore that was not even put in the books.
Yeah, I got to see Cursed Child a couple years ago when I was in San Francisco for a work thing for a job that I was no longer at. So, but they sent me anyway, and like it was a really cool. Like the story was blah, but the way they translated the magic and a lot of the ideas to the stage was really cool. And they've recently gone through and basically like it was a 2-part play kind of thing. So it was like you can come, like you see part 1, you know, the matinee, and then you'll come back in the evening for part 2, or you come on different nights or something like that. And I saw that they've consolidated into like a single evening experience now. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what, like, because you definitely have to do a lot of edits and cuts to shrink it down that much. So I'm curious, like, what all they pulled out of it or how they made that work. But it was a cool approach, and they did some really cool stage magic kind of things. But yeah, it's like whatever. All right. Well, let's slide on over then to Xbox Bethesda. What is your first prediction for the Xbox Bethesda showcase?
A big reveal for Outer Wilds 2.
Nice. That was one of mine that I had like in my like.
Sorry, Outer Worlds 2. Outer Worlds 2. Outer Wilds is a completely different game.
Yes. That everybody makes that mistake. Yeah, Outer Worlds 2, the you know, Fallout-esque Western
sci-fi.
RPG. Yeah. Future sci-fi. Which will be funny because they'll effectively have cranked out 2 Starfield-like games in between Starfield getting announced and Starfield actually coming out potentially.
Yep.
But yeah, that's yeah, and you know, same studios kind of stuff as well. Yeah, that's I think that's a very solid pick. Do you think we basically see like because what they gave us like a teaser, was it last year?
Mm-hmm.
So you think we get like
we got like a
full-fledged trailer?
Yeah, we get a full-fledged trailer, and like I don't know if we get a release date, but we'll get a full-fledged trailer. Maybe a drop saying 2023.
Yeah. Cool. I can get behind that. I'm very curious what Obsidian is like, because Obsidian also theoretically Grounded, I think, is still technically in like pre-release or whatever. So eventually that game needs to come out. Avowed is the game that they showed off before they even showed off Outer Worlds 2. That was like their Skyrim-like game. And part of me wonders if now that Bethesda is in-house with them, if they're even bothering to do some of that stuff, or if they're just being like, let's go ahead and actually shelve some of these things, and just collaborate with that team. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, Outer Worlds 2, very cool. My first one, I will go with. This is the one that's probably like the most akin to your Elden Ring DLC prediction, because I'm predicting that Xbox has a history of showcasing the DLC of their Forza series at these events. Notably, I distinctly remember them showcasing the Lego DLC because that's what got me into Forza Horizon 4 a few years ago. So I'm predicting that we will see the first expansion of Forza Horizon 5, and specifically, I could just leave the prediction there and when it comes up, just take my point and then be happy. But I'm gonna be an idiot, and I'm gonna go the extra little mile here and predict that it is Jurassic World themed. Like maybe we're gonna go to Isla Nublar as like a new location on the map, and you'll have dinosaurs running around because hey, Jurassic World Dominion also comes out this weekend, so that would be some very kismet timing on all that, and it just seems like, especially they've kind of like seemingly put little teases and Easter eggy things into Horizon over the last 6+ months. Potentially teeing up a dino themed expansion. So that is my first prediction. Forza Horizon 5 getting a expansion reveal, notably, specifically Jurassic World themed. What do you got for number 2, Cameron?
My number 2 is we will see a gameplay trailer and like in-depth stuff for Starfield.
Yep. Makes
I think just
perfect
because
sense.
I think just because it got delayed doesn't mean that they aren't prepared to show off like a good. In fact, maybe in preparation for showing off, they realized, hey, we probably need more time.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
absolutely fair. I will say, like my number 4 that I had is like some effectively my first alt was Starfield gameplay. That's all I put in. But yeah,
Yep.
same. I'm in the same boat. I think it's like it's unfortunate that it got kicked out of this year. But I think take all the time they need for it, especially because kick it out 2 years, it's still going to come out as a kind of a buggy mess. But we just kind of know to expect that from Bethesda, and hopefully Cyberpunk has changed the game on that, and they know, oh, actually, maybe we need to polish these games a little bit more before we actually release them out to the public now. Maybe people aren't going to deal with that in a post Cyberpunk world. So, I'm all for Starfield getting some extra time, and but still using this as an opportunity to show it off. Because other than that, it's presumably you'd have like, oh, maybe they'll show something big at the Game Awards in December or something as we're closer to launch, but they'll probably do some kind of big Todd Howard presentation nowadays. So sounds good to me. My prediction number 2, and this is actually a prediction that I'm making almost to spite Logan, because one of his predictions for the year is that we will not see any more from Indiana Jones. And I'm making the prediction here that we will get some kind of update on the Machine Games Indiana Jones game. I think we will get some kind of trailer as opposed to like the little tease that we got initially introducing it. So, some kind of trailer, maybe hints of gameplay, but it'll probably more be like a tone piece and some kind of 2023 or even 2024 release date, or release window rather. So Indiana Jones and maybe it'll be Indiana Jones and the blah 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 of blah 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 or whatever. Like we'll get a name for the game announced. So and if we do, I'll get a point here, and Logan will basically forfeit that point in our year-long predictions that we've got going from the beginning of the year. So cool. Hit me with your third and final Xbox Bethesda prediction, Cameron.
Trevor, 4 years ago, at 2018's E3, at the Xbox showcase, a game was announced that shook me to my core, that I never thought we'd ever see. And I predict 4 years later, we will get the announcement of its sequel, Devil May Cry 6.
Okay. Specifically at Xbox.
Yep, 4 years ago, it was announced at the Xbox Showcase. Like, it was a big deal then. I anticipate that we'll see it again.
All right.
They'll be like, yeah, we're here for Xbox.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, I guess Capcom just, got into bed with PlayStation on Street Fighter and Resident Evil in their state of play, so it makes sense that they might want to shop around one of their other big franchises over to Xbox and take some time on their stage. And it's certainly not like this prediction especially would not surprise me if it's also tied with and it's going to be day and date on Xbox Game Pass kind of thing. Like if they do, like
100%.
In addition to all of our games that you're seeing, also the games we're showcasing from our partners today are going to be, day and date on Game Pass.
Uncle Phil would definitely do something like that.
Yeah. I mean, like at last year's presentation of, I want to say like 45 games they showed, only 3 of them were not Xbox Game Pass games. And it was like Call of Duty, Diablo 2 Resurrection, and Far Cry 6, I think, were like the 3 games they had last year that were not Game Pass games. Everything else was going to be day and date on Game Pass. So I dig that one. That's a really cool one that I definitely would not have even thought about. Awesome. Last one I'm gonna go with. So I'll throw this one out as one of my alts. It was originally one of my predictions, but I'm going to slide it into alt category because I think it's likely enough that I would feel a little dirty counting this one. But I had basically that we're going to get a GoldenEye remaster stealth release since there was like, the Xbox achievements making the rounds from developers of an HD remaster of the game or something this week. So it seems like it's imminent. And if it comes out, very cool. I'll be very curious to see how that game, plays in 2022.
Because it plays like garbage now.
I mean, like presumably they will have modernized a control scheme for it. Number one, but then like number 2, also it's like, if you're going to release that game now and don't release it with like online play, I don't know what you're doing. So I feel like the multiplayer suite of that would have to be like enhanced, as opposed to just like 4-person like split screen. But I'm gonna leave that as a I could have made that prediction, but I'll throw it into my alts. And my final prediction will actually be that we get a trailer, an updated trailer, and release date for Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga, or Senua's Saga Hellblade 2.
That was going to be my other one.
Yeah. It seems like it's that one has been in development for a while now. And a showcase like this is probably a good time to like reinforce it. Especially, if you have it in there alongside like a Starfield, to be like, hey, here's the big bombastic one, but also here's like your heady kind of psychological thriller horror kind of game, and the follow up to a very much acclaimed original title. I don't know if it'll make 2022. It might be a 2023 game, but I think they'll put a date on it that they are confident that they can hit. So alongside a new updated trailer. That is my final one. My other alts there that I'll throw, as I said, I had a Starfield gameplay one, and then I also had, and this is one that like probably is less likely, since I think they just announced that Halo co-op is coming to flights soon, or they're gonna be testing it in their little flight system soon. But it was basically gonna be like I had 5+ minutes on Halo Infinite, and the roadmap plans for the game was a prediction. And maybe they'll still do that. Maybe they'll say like, here's when co-op is coming. Here's when the Forge is coming, if it's not already there. I don't know. I've not actually kept up with anything Halo Infinite related, but definitely seems like they kind of need to pump some boost into that game's veins a little bit to get it back in the conversation, give it the longevity I think they want it to have. But yeah, those are my alts. Any alts from you on that one?
No.
Yep. Fair enough. A little bit of not. I think the last couple years, especially for me, I will say, like, I'm just over the like, let's come up with the most wild kind of prediction we can come up with that's never going to happen just because it'd be cool if it happened or something like that. It's like, let's go with like realistic things. Let's go with the games we know are in development or are likely in development, and let's go from there. Let's start with that. So cool. I don't know if you'll be able to join us next week, or what Logan's plans for next week's show are, but I will certainly include some kind of like wrap up of our predictions to see how well we do. I'll probably do some kind of update on the Twitter Thursday after the conference for the Summer Game Fest stuff, and then also Sunday for the Xbox Bethesda stuff. So stay tuned for that, and then at some point, Cameron and I will go and grab some Portillos, and one of us will treat the other, and it'll be a nice little chatty time. Any shout-outs, any cool articles you've seen around, or videos or anything around the internet, or from any of our friends recently that you want to give a shout-out to there, Cam?
I just want to give a massive shout-out to the one and only Jeff Gerstmann. Not like a friend of ours, but like definitely the legacy that man has in the gaming industry is borderline unparalleled. And recently, yesterday, he made his departure from Giant Bomb, a site that he founded with, it wasn't too unlike that nerdy site or a lot of our other fellow podcast sites out there, where it's just a couple of people getting together to have a good time and talk about things we love. And he kind of did a big thing by kind of like really like charting the waters for the rest of us, whether it was innovating off of how you could keep a company afloat without tremendously huge media conglomerate corporate backing. Doing it with just a small media company like Whiskey Media back in the day.
Yeah.
And just really making something like that happen. It's been obvious for a long time, ever since they got bought. Whiskey Media got bought by CBSI, and kind of like the re-entry into the corporate world was rough on him and a lot of the guys over at Giant Bomb. And seeing the slow departures over the years, I will say I'm super stoked for what Giant Bomb is going to do next. They have an amazing crew of people there now that are if there's one person, like I was like, man, I really don't know what's going to happen with Giant Bomb. And then they announced that Dan Reichert is coming back as the creative director, and it's like, oh, they're fine. They're going to be okay. They have brilliant people over there, but Jeff Gerstmann, I want to give a massive shout out to. He is doing his own thing. He's going solo for the first time in his career. And it's truly, truly tremendous to see somebody who, at his age, at his experience, with how jaded he could be about this industry, seeing him say, hey, this is an industry worth being in and talking about, really kind of gave me like a really fun, energetic kind of shot in the arm. Made me really, because I was like, man, I'm really tired from work. We have to do this podcast. But then I kind of saw what he was saying about stuff, and I was like, man, I just really got excited about doing what we do.
Cool. Yeah, I was going to, in a similar vein, I was going to, like, I've never been somebody who's really, like, watched or gotten into Giant Bomb stuff, but I know, obviously, it has been a huge impact on a lot of our friends and a lot of people in the industry, in the communities and stuff like that. And so, yeah, seeing the announcement yesterday of him departing, I was like, oh, that is kind of a industry, shaking kind of thing. And then waking up this morning and seeing like the announcement of like, here's what Giant Bomb is going to look like moving forward, and seeing Dan Reichert coming back, seeing Lucy James and Timur taking more of an active role over there, as well as some of the kind of holdovers. It definitely looks like it is a going to be a good group. That's and Jeff Grubb being another one that I saw coming on board. Definitely seems like they're in good hands. And I saw the tweet making the rounds of Timur explaining why he made the decision to come on to Giant Bomb. Did you see that one?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
So it's him kind of like saying, I've been a fan for many years, and like when kind of making a decision and thinking, do I want to go, take a more active role on it? Really, the one thing driving me was how, as a Muslim, can I make my life that much more painful anytime I try and get on a plane? And it's by associating myself with a company called Giant Bomb. So it's
Timur Hussein.
It's a lovely little gag bit. But yeah, shout out to him having a good old sense of humor on just how much more fucked his life is going to be anytime he tries to fly anywhere, probably. But yeah, shout out to everybody over there at Giant Bomb, as well as Jeff, indeed. And we wish all of them all the best in their kind of next steps on this journey. I think that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you again, Cam, for joining me to make some predictions and talk some stuff. You can follow Cameron at Rev Cabot. Any personal shout-outs you want to give?
Yeah, personal shout-out I want to give is definitely has to go to... I just thought to myself, I was like, what's something that somebody I know has done lately? And it's like, I have no idea what anybody's done lately.
Well, I'm saying this would be where you plug anything you've done lately.
Oh, Friday Night Dying Light. It's a really cool series. I actually recorded like 5 episodes, 5 or 6 episodes on Sunday. It was a blast. I had so much fun getting back into the game. I can't wait for this weekend when I have time again to record more episodes, because that's what I'm going to be doing. Because like I'm at a point now, it's like this game's getting really good in where it's going, and I can't wait to get further into it. I was a little bit trepidatious, but man, did they give me like a good out? And man, I like from what I was trying to trepidatious about, man, they gave me a good out, and I'm good on that.
All right, cool. Yeah, definitely go check out Friday Night Dying Light every Friday evening, 6 p.m. Pacific, assuming Trevor remembers to upload the video. There. You can follow me at Trevor J. Starkey. I will do a twofold shout out. One, shout out to this week's Let's Plays, which are both going to be God of War themed, in honor of A, that game being one of my favorites of all time, and B, it being available to anybody on PlayStation Plus now. And I remember like when they announced it, I was like, wasn't it already on PlayStation Plus? And I was like, oh, that's right. It's currently on or it was like part of the PS5 PlayStation Plus collection. So if you had a PlayStation 5, you could play the game on PlayStation Plus, but now it's available for everybody out there who hasn't been able to get one yet. So definitely go check out those. It's basically like, me playing the first hour-ish of the game over a couple different episodes. And then also shout out to That D Plus show. This week we're going to be doing our Miss Marvel episode to celebrate the first episode of Miss Marvel, which I'll be watching, a few hours from now as it as it goes live here as we're recording this. And then also I'll stay up an extra hour and watch the next Obi-Wan Kenobi episode. But yeah, go check out That D Plus show for all of our fun Miss Marvel and Obi-Wan Kenobi thoughts this month, as we'll be doing episodes dedicated to both of those in the near future. You can find all of us over at That Nerdy Site, or go to thatnerdysite.com for all the latest content from us. Once again, if you liked what you heard, please rate, review, like, subscribe, share the podcast with your friends, all that fun stuff. Thank you again for listening. As always, stay nerdy and be good to each other.